Good evening. Our scripture is coming from Isaiah 23, verses 18 through 19. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
In this book of Isaiah, God warns his people that their sin is leading them to a future of captivity under the Babylonian Empire. He is calling out for them to understand their sin and to change their ways, saying in chapter 42, verse 18, "Hear, ye deaf, and look, you blind, that you may see." But the people of God refuse to listen and look and see. So many years later, God's people are conquered by the Babylonians. But in this prophetic summary, we learn of God's plan for the future rescue of his people from that same bondage after some 70 years. In our verses, God is telling his people not to remember the former rescue that he gave them from Egyptian bondage. He is going to rescue them in a new way from the slavery they will experience in the future. In a very real way, God's people were released from physical bondage, both in the time of Egyptian and Babylonian captivity. But that would be too simple to just end there. We learn later in the book of Isaiah that these physical rescues from captivity are but a shadow of the great and final spiritual and holistic rescue that God has in store for his people. God has in store for his people. God speaks again and again in Isaiah about his coming servant who will suffer for his people and save them in totality from the bondage of sin and death. The New Testament reveals Jesus, that servant. Thanks be to God for his holy word and teaching. Click